Jump in COVID-19 cases in Madison and Dane County is top of mind for many people right now.
And it affects many things in our community. Joining us now is Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes-Conway to talk about these issues. She'll also be joining us after the break for a special tribute to our Neil Heinen. Mayor, thanks for being with us today. I don't think we can hear you.
I don't know.
It's a pleasure to be here with you. Sorry about that.
Nice to see you, Mayor. Thank you.
We just heard from the county executive. Do you agree with Joe Parisi that the UW-Madison students should be sent home?
You know, this is just a really, really challenging situation, I think, for all of us. And what we've seen is that it is going to be very, very difficult for us to control the transmission of COVID-19 on campus, but frankly, mostly in parties. Because I think what we're seeing in the data is that it's not so much transmission in classes as it is in, extracurricular activities, shall we say. So I appreciate the good work that UW is doing to try and contain this, and I just continue to really call on everyone in our community, including students, to take this seriously and to take the very basic, simple steps to keep yourself and everyone else safe. And that's wearing your mask, washing your hands, and staying 6 feet away from other folks. It's not complicated. We can do this.
Well, the Big Ten is expected to announce at any moment its 2020 football plan, which would mean the return of Badger football. And we don't have any of the details. We expect that there won't be fans involved. But what do you think that will mean for the situation on campus with tailgating and rising cases?
I think that's just not really wise at all. We're not in a situation where it's acceptable for us to have tailgating parties or really to have parties of any sort. If I thought there was a way to do football without that happening, I'd be all for it. But we can't support folks in the stands at any sort of density, and we certainly can't support parties. The bottom line here, folks, is that our health is the most important thing, right? We love our football, but our health is more important.
The ninth order from the Dane County Health Department said that taverns can only have patrons inside for ordering, pickup, and payment, but we are getting reports that bars, especially bars around campus, are packed on the weekends. Why are they still open?
We are taking actions, actually just had a meeting on this today, to move forward with enforcement against any establishments, particularly bars, that are breaking the public health order. So I think you'll see enforcement on that in the coming days.
But some of the bars and taverns on State Street have told us that they feel in some ways the odds are really stacked against them because of things like the streetery, where restaurants can set up food service outside, has been a lifeline for a lot of restaurants that are struggling now. For the bars and taverns on State Street, they're really in a pickle because they can't do that outside. Is there anything available to help those businesses, because so many of the businesses on State Street are already struggling so much?
Yeah, this has been a really tough time for so many of our small and local businesses, and I really get that. I think the unfortunate thing is that the business model of selling alcohol is just not super compatible with a pandemic right now. Because as soon as people have a drink or two, their behavior slips and you're getting more transmission. We are looking at what could be supported in a safe way, for businesses, for bars and taverns. But I just think, right now, again, the most important thing is our health and preventing transmission of COVID-19, and we're going to continue to focus on that.
And the majority of UW students live off campus in the city of Madison, so they're under your jurisdiction.
That's correct.
So what can you do for those directly to affect those students?
Well, so, we are looking at the bar question, as I said previously. We're also looking at the question of house parties. There are, under the public health orders, there are limits for how many unrelated people you can have in any situation. And so that's another thing that public health is looking into and working on ways to enforce better. But again, I come back to really appealing to people. It's not complicated. It's easy to wear a mask. It's easy to wash your hands. If you're thinking about the health of yourself, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your whole community, I would hope that it would be easy to forego having a party. for a couple of months while we get through this pandemic.
One would hope. All right, the mayor is staying with us for our next segment as well.
She has a special proclamation to make this afternoon. Mayor Rhodes-Conway, stand by. We'll find out what it is when Live at 4 continues. We'll be right